Good. That translated to the WNBA losing, what, $40 million?
I think it was 50, but who's counting?
All right, shot or no shot. Already, we've talked about it all morning. We've got a game coming up this weekend that is really important for the Bears and for their coaching staff. It already feels like making the playoffs is nearly out of reach, with the Bears playoff odds falling from nearly 50% before the Washington game. They now sit at 25% after the loss to Washington, but a loss to Arizona on Sunday feels like it would effectively end the dream of making the playoffs. So, shot or no shot, Eberflus starts coaching for his job on Sunday.
Shot.
Absolute shot.
Yeah. I mean, if you go anything less than 6-4, you're probably losing your job because you're definitely not making the playoffs with only 9 wins. At 10 wins, you could if some things shake your way. At 11, you have a much better chance, and obviously that would have to mean that you sweep Minnesota, you win this weekend, you beat the Seahawks, you have to beat the 49ers at that point too. So yeah, absolute shot. You have to. You have to win this weekend.
100% he's got to win, and I told you guys yesterday that I believe short of getting in the playoffs and really looking like, man, we're ready to take the next step. Like, wow, look where the Bears are at. He's gone.
I mean, I
don't think they're going to fire him on Monday if they lose on Sunday.
No, they're
but
actually not.
I do think if he loses this game, he will be fired at the end of the year.
Yeah,
there's no way around.
I don't think there's a world where they fire him in season. The Bears just don't do that. They don't like. And again, who coaches the team then? They don't have anybody with any head coaching experience.
You mean if you fired him in season?
Yeah.
They're not doing that.
No, they're not. And so I think that a case, what I was going to say is that a case could be made by them, not by me and not by you, is that if he did 9 wins and missing the playoffs and Caleb looks really good and the defense never gave up and you held they said it last year, you steadied the ship, that they don't fire him. I could see it. I don't want them to do that, but I could see it.
Yeah, I told you yesterday, and I'll stick by what I said. First of all, if heaven forbid he blew it, let's say he has a 96% chance of winning in the fourth quarter on Sunday and they lose again. That is the only scenario where I could see an in-season coaching change.
They're not doing that.
But I don't think that's going to happen, and the odds say it's not going to happen. And I don't think they would fire him in season. That all said, the only question that has to be asked at the end of the season is when Kevin and Ryan Poles sit in a room with Ian Cunningham and whoever else is in their upper hierarchy, and they go, can we win the Super Bowl with this guy? And if they don't believe it, they're moving on.
There's only one scenario I think he gets fired in season. They lose this weekend, they narrowly beat the Patriots, and they get their brains beat in at home by the Packers. Because we know how much the McCaskies want to beat the Packers. And guess who? Kevin Warren's got to report to somebody. And if George comes in and says, fire him, they'll fire him. Nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, they've never done it in the history of the franchise.
I understand that, but we know how we've heard stories about how mad they get after certain games and in suites and all that kind of stuff. Like, listen, if you get your brains beat in by the Packers at home again, just saying, weirder things have happened, but that might be it. That's the only scenario I can see it happening.
Shay.
Just quickly, the Arizona thing and like losing this weekend, Cap, you mentioned if they have like a 95% win probability and lose, then you could see it. I do kind of agree where it's never happened before. The McCaskies have never fired a coach midseason. If you have like a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter and you end up losing the game, I feel like the sledgehammer would have to fall.
It would. Like if you go it would be like two like tremendously great plays, like Kyler Murray with some phenomenal play to win the game. No, you make an egregious decision and you lose, like what happened with not taking a timeout or the handoff to Doug Kramer. Like stuff like that happened. Didn't kick the field goal against Denver. That's the only way. I don't think it happens. Shay.
According to Dan Wiederer, Tyreek Stevenson likely will not start against Arizona after the debacle in Washington. This is the level of accountability that we've spent all week asking for, with Tyreek Stevenson being a big part of the reason the Bears did lose the game on Sunday against Washington. But there is one problem. Neither Jaquan Brisker or Kyler Gordon have practiced yet this week. They both are trending towards not playing on Sunday. If you take the practice reports with any meaning at all, that leaves the secondary extremely thin. So shot or no shot, Tyreek Stevenson should start on Sunday.
I don't think it matters unless you suspend him. Because what? He's not going to start, so he's going to miss one play. This is like the equivalent of when a college team like, Texas A&M suspends Johnny Manziel for a quarter against Mercer, and then he comes in the second quarter and lights the team up for the rest of the game for 7 touchdowns. Like, it's one play. This is the most slap on the wrist BS ever. You're going to not start him for one. You're not going to play him for one. So he's not going to start, so he's not going to play one play. Who cares?
Do you think that really is what it's going to be, just so he doesn't get the start in the stat sheet? They'll leave him out for the opening play on defense?
Because they need him. You need him. You're not going to have Brisker. You're not going to have Gordon. You need him. You can't not play him. So he's going to play, and what, not starting? So what, is he going to miss a quarter? Is he going to miss a half? No,
yeah, I think
he's going to miss one play, and then he's going to run out there.
Yeah, I think they would have been better off if Eberflus had driven the bus across him and backed it up right here on his talk show, on his radio hit with us, with me and Hoodie on Monday, and he just said, what he did is one of the most ridiculously stupid things I've ever seen. I'll handle it internally, but let me just make it clear. What Tyreek Stevenson did was one of the dumbest things I've ever watched on a football team. So if they would do that, then you move on. We're handling it internally, and he could start.
Listen, you want to send a message, you suspend him for the game. You suspend him for a half. You say that. But this is the NFL. You're not going to do that. You're going to sit him out it's the Bears. You need him. You're going to sit him out for one play, and he's going to be right back in there.
Yeah. Shake.
All right, Ryan Poles, no stranger to dealing second-round picks midseason. Adam Johns talked about this in The Athletic this week. He acquired Chase Claypool 2 years ago, Montez Sweat last year. This year, he has 2 second-round picks to work with, including one that might end up being the 33rd pick in the draft. So, shot or no shot, Ryan Poles should trade one of his second-round picks for immediate help this season.
Well, is the immediate help going to be under contract going forward?
Is the immediate help Micah Parsons?
Well, you're not doing that for a second-round pick.
I'm just saying, unless it's going to be someone like Montez Sweat, then no shot. Don't do it. Immediate impact, I don't think you're adding anyone to this team outside of Micah Parsons that's going to get you to the playoffs this year. They're not adding any offensive weapons. I don't think there's a good enough offensive lineman for you to add midseason because teams just aren't parting with good offensive linemen. Cam Robinson's not a good offensive lineman that went to the Vikings. He's just a body. So I don't think you're going to do that. So I'm going to say no shot, I guess. I think that's how I answer that. I don't remember the question.
I have no problem with him making a deal. I'm all about it. The hot stove season in baseball or the trade deadline. Love it. Love it. But it's got to be somebody that's not just here as a stopgap unless you're telling me, you got some guy in the final year of his deal for a 6th-round pick. All right, whatever. I don't care. But if you want to go get another Montez Sweat style addition, I'm all in if you're going to have him here going forward.
Someone who's going to be here that whether you have to extend him or whether you have to whatever, someone who's going to be here and have an impact on this team for the next 3-4 years.
Anything that'll make Mike Lombardi's head explode when Ryan Poles makes a deal, I'm all in for.
Okay.
So, shit.
And then finally, Matt Eberflus. He hasn't won a road game on the road since the Washington game last year. He gets another chance to win a road game on Sunday. It would be his first Sunday road win as a Bears head coach.
That's crazy.
But the Bears are short underdogs to Arizona. We also know the CHSN saga in Chicago is ongoing. Latest reporting, they hope to have an app up and running by Thanksgiving, potentially sooner. Shot or no shot, everyone in Chicago will be able to watch CHSN before Eberflus wins another road game.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Wow.
Let's see. So that would mean a deal with Comcast.
Has to get done by Sunday at 3 o'clock because the game's at 3:05.
Well, no, they have to win the game. So technically, like 6:15.
Okay, so by like 6:30 Sunday, they have to have a deal done. And I know the fine folks over at CHSN, and I don't believe they're going to be negotiating on Sunday. So I'm going to say Eberflus, there is a shot. He will win a road game before.
See, I don't think they're going to win on Sunday. Prove me wrong, kid. I'm not rooting against them. That's not what this is. I just don't think they're going to win. Then they're at Detroit. This is an order of road games. At Detroit on Thanksgiving, short week. At Detroit, at San Francisco, at Minnesota, and then at Green Bay. I don't know. I think we might be all watching Bulls games and Blackhawks games before they win on the road. That's tough. That's a tough road schedule the rest of the way. I don't know. I wish they would have beaten the Colts on the road. That would have been nice.
Yeah, but then I wouldn't have been able to ask this question.
I know. That's going to be the game that you're like, that could have been the one.
Yeah, I think they win this weekend. So
I wish they'd beaten Washington last Sunday, Adam.
Yeah,
that would have been game.
That'd have been nice too. They were winning that game. That would have been nice.
Bear down.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think we're watching Bulls and Blackhawks games before then.
Well, we'll see.
I hope I'm wrong. Prove me wrong, kids. Prove me wrong.
All right. Shake.
Yeah, quickly, I'll ask about Cody Bellinger. Some reporting yesterday seemed to suggest Cody Bellinger is leaning towards opting out.
Yeah, because I looked at the center field market yesterday, and he's not going to play center field here. There is no scenario where he beats out Pete Crow Armstrong. So is he playing right field?
How the mighty have fallen.
I mean, is he playing right? Maybe. But they also have prospects they'd like to get into their lineup, and they would like to make one big, splashy addition, not named Juan Soto. So
why not?
They're not paying him $550 million.
Why not?
Well, okay, so let's do it this way, because if Cody opts out, you take some serious money off of your books next year.
7.5.
You're going to save some serious cash. Shot or no shot, that would allow the Cubs to make a serious play at Juan Soto.
It should.
I agree with Abdalla. It should. I don't think they're going to commit 550, 600. Some are saying it could get to 700. If he's getting $700 million,
didn't they say that about Ohtani too? That Ohtani was going to get like 800 at one point.
No, he was 6 was the number, and then when he got to 7, everyone went, whoa,
yeah.
So, and then it came out that Ohtani was never going anywhere other than L.A.
It should be a shot.
Dodgers.
It's a no shot though, because it's the Cubs and they won't do it. They won't do it. You'll get Pete Alonso, and he won't be as good as Matt Chapman, and that'll be it.
Just take the Dodgers playbook and defer all the money.
I don't know why they don't do that.
In escrow.
Why don't they do that? I don't understand that.
You guys don't seem to understand. Didn't the Dodgers get $7 billion in TV money? Guaranteed.
Okay. You're not going to get me to feel bad for the Ricketts.
No one's asking you to.
We don't have enough money. Yes, you do. You do. You have enough money. You have more than enough money that if you wanted to and find a loophole like all the rich people do, you'll find it. Guess what? The Dodgers did it. It's right there.
But again, they signed. Sorry, I was wrong. The Dodgers signed a guaranteed $8 billion TV deal.
Cool, good for them.
And this year, the White Sox are going to make $35 million.
Who's talking about the White Sox?
No, I'm just giving you as an example. The Dodgers get $8 billion over 25 years. The White Sox get $35 million. The Cubs are somewhere in the $85 to $90 million.
Then why did they need to defer all the money for Ohtani if they've got $8 billion?
Well, number one, they didn't want to go that far into luxury tax because of the penalties.
So the Cubs can do it too.
Yeah, sell a yacht and pop the money in escrow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
Sell some of those rooftops you needed to buy that no one goes to during the winter. How about a couple of those other places you had to buy? That the Wrigleyville's a ghost town in the winter. A ghost town. But no, you had to buy up all the rooftops. No one made them do that.
This isn't about the rooftops. There is not a team in the game.
No, it's about
that can compete with that Dodger
spending
deal.
that they didn't need to do, and them now crying poor. That's what it's about.
But when you spend, they're in the luxury tax this year. Stupidly, but they are. So they're not crying poor. They're just not going to play in the Dodgers' end of the pool. That's just a fact. Nobody else is either.
Well, they could. They just don't want to.
I disagree that they could. They don't. There isn't. The owner of the freaking Yankees just came out and said our payroll's unsustainable. They're not even in the same league as the Dodgers. It's not even close.
Shame.
But could they go get Alonso or whoever other than Soto? Maybe. They should. We got to take a quick time out. We'll have the picks for the NFL and college this weekend. Next.